Welcome back to Believers IAS Academy. In this today's particular video, we will be discussing about the Sundarbans Tiger Reserve. So why is it in news? Because the recent approval from the National Board of Wildlife has made the Sundarbans Tiger Reserve the second largest tiger reserve in the country. So earlier, if you knew, it was the seventh largest, and right now it is at the second place, becoming the second largest tiger reserve in the country. So which one is the first? The first one is the Nagarjunasagar-Srisailam Tiger Reserve, which is present in the Andhra Pradesh region. So we will try and understand the process or the procedure for declaring or altering a tiger reserve in this particular video. So the entire provision or the process of the alteration, or even with respect to increasing or decreasing the spans or the area of a tiger reserve, is completely undertaken or governed by the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 under the section 38V. So we will try and understand briefly in terms of the procedure as to how this goes forward. Of course, this is important from the prelims point of view, not everything in detail, but you should know few important bodies which we will discuss here. So the very first stage, the proposal, right, it has to be given by the state government, where the state government initiates the first process to notify a tiger reserve. And further, another important body which comes into the picture is the National Tiger Conservation Authority, or also called as NTCA, which is very important to keep in mind. If there could be a prelims question, this particular terminology is most expected. So after the state government initiates the process, right, initiates for the approval, the National Tiger Conservation Authority reviews and conveys this particular approval if it is genuine or required or not, and then further it conveys it to another important body, right, which is the National Board for Wildlife, right. It further checks or ensures that the recommended provisions or the recommended information by the NTCA with respect to a particular state's tiger reserve is justifiable or not, and then the NBWL, which is the National Board for Wildlife, approves it and further proposes that the area to be declared as a tiger reserve, and then it goes to the state government, which further officially notifies that this particular area or any particular area which is in news or which goes to the NBWL, even for the matter of with respect to reduction of the area, expansion of the area, or even alteration, is confirmed, right, as by the state government at the end. So this is a simple process. So you have to understand, or you have to keep in mind, the important bodies. One is the NTCA, which is the National Tiger Conservation Authority. Then it is the NBWL, which is the National Board for Wildlife. So you have to keep in mind that the initiation first happens at the state level, the state government, and then the NTCA approves it or conducts various it does the review with respect to the recommendation given by the state, and then it is further passed on to the National Board for Wildlife, which must and should approve this, right, and later the state government officially notifies the area as a tiger reserve. So in terms of alteration of boundaries, of course the changes are not much, but you have to keep in mind that no change in boundaries can be made without the recommendation of the NTCA, which is the National Tiger Conservation Authority, and then further, after the recommendation of the NTCA is confirmed, then the approval of the NBWL is a must. So these are the two important things which is important from the examination point of view. One is the NTCA and NBWL, even with respect to alteration or expansion or even reduction of the boundaries related to the tiger reserve. And the sections, not too much important, but generally you have to keep in mind that this comes under the ambit of Wildlife Protection Act 1972, section 38V. Moving forward, since it is related to Sundarban Tiger Reserve. We'll try and understand a little bit in brief about the Sundarban Tiger Reserve. So the location, where is it located? It is located in the coastal districts of West Bengal, and it is what kind of a tiger reserve? It is a mangrove forest, a tiger reserve which is inside a mangrove forest, and this is a very important topic, or sorry, important statement, because it is the only mangrove forest in the world with a significant tiger population. Or if there is any tiger reserves, right, in a particular mangrove forest in anywhere in the world, it is in India, and it is in Sundarban is what the importance of this particular tiger reserve is. So this statement might look extreme, but it is the correct statement. So the moment you see this particular statement in the prelims question, just by looking at the word only, just don't think that it is an extreme statement and try to cut it off. No, it is the genuine statement, and it is the only mangrove forest. The Sundarban Tiger Reserve is the only mangrove forest in the world with a significant tiger population. Now, understanding the borders of this particular tiger reserve, to the east we have rivers like Harinbanga, Raimangal, Kalindi, and we also have the international border with Bangladesh. And to the south we have the Bay of Bengal, and to the west we have the river Malta, and to the northwest we have the rivers Vidya and Gomdi. Of course, all these things are not important so much, but it is good to know. At least if you know that to the south, we have the Bay of Bengal, which obviously everybody knows in all of it. Now, coming to the special status with respect to the UNESCO's Natural World Heritage Site, this Sundarban Biosphere Reserve is a part of UNESCO's Natural World Heritage Site, as another important feature or component you have to keep in mind with respect to Sundarbans. Moving forward, what is the ecological balance? It is very important for the habitat, right? For the habitat of the key species, the Royal Bengal Tiger, which has adapted to saline and mangrove ecosystems, and it acts as a natural shield against cyclones and tidal surges, which we will study in the geography. And it even supports diverse species like estuarine crocodiles, fishing cats, and few other migratory birds. And it also provides carbon sequestration benefits and sustains livelihoods for the local communities. And coming to the major significance of this particular expansion, there are three important things to keep in mind. One is that it ensures better protection for the tigers and the associated biodiversity, including all the species that we saw, right? Having extra area, spatial area, means that all these animals, the species, have extra territory right now to freely roam around, and also this can accommodate or it can enhance species multiplication, right? This will help the species or any particular animal. For instance, it's the tigers. It would be very helpful for them to multiply, right? And also it would help to accommodate more diversity in terms of species that the Sundarban biodiversity can accommodate. And then it enhances connectivity of habitats, aiding genetic diversity, is what we discussed. And it strengthens coastal ecosystem resilience against climate change and rising sea levels. So having an expanded tiger reserve, or for that matter the biodiversity, the biosphere that we are talking, it ensures that it strengthens the coastal ecosystem resilience, and also against the climate change and the rising sea level also. So that is all for this particular video. Even before we end the video, let's try and solve one prelims question. Consider the following statements about tiger reserves in India. A tiger reserve can be declared only with the approval of the National Board for Wildlife, which is NBWL. The second statement, alteration of tiger reserve boundaries requires the recommendation of NTCA. Third statement, Sundarban Tiger Reserve is the only mangrove habitat in the world with a significant tiger population. So the options are here. Please use the comment section to leave the answer below. That is all for today's video. Signing off. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.